Okay, so in the previous tutorial, we created this tournament, and now it's time to add some events. So I'm going to go to the Add Events button, and let's say we're going to have a Sporting Clays event. Now, since this is an NSCA shoot, I'm going to call this the main event. And it is of type Sporting Clays. My other options are FETASC. If you're doing sub-gauge, use the correct gauge so it reports to the NSCA under the correct gauge. But you have a variety of different types, and this covers different types of events for multiple different tournament types. But this is just going to be a Sporting Clays. We are going to report it to the NSCA. There are no teams in an NSCA shoot, neither are there ever any mulligans. And this is just going to be a basic 100 target over 12 stations. And I'm going to say about 90 minutes that I'm going to allot for the person to shoot it. You don't have to put the duration if you're not going to have squatted rotations, but it's a good habit to get into, and you'll see why as we get a little further on in the tutorial. If I would like to make a description, I can. It's not necessary. And now I have an event. So I'm going to now edit this event because I need to add a few more things in here. You will notice that there is a free price. Do not worry about anybody signing up free. The public never sees that. This is an internal price code that iClays uses. Sometimes if you have a multi-event where if you sign up for one thing, you're included in other elements, it needs to exist in every event. So just leave it there. And let's add our actual pricing. So let's say the NSCA entrant fee is going to be $50. Now in an NSCA tournament, you also have to have a hunter entrant. And it just so happens that because NSCA rules, it needs to be the exact same price. So why do we have it? Well, for one reason, it gives us the ability to know which persons are NSCA entrants and which are hunter, so that when we report this to the NSCA, we give you the correct amount for the 4 cents that goes to the NSCA and the however many cents to your state association. So it helps us distinguish the type of entrant. If we wanted to have something like a senior citizen discount or a child discount, we can do that as well. There's a variety of different price codes in here. We'll cover some of those later when we talk about adding lunch events where we might sell multiple tickets, or we even have some things, it might be for an RV spot where you're reserving it for a particular day, or a golf cart rental. So there's a variety of different price codes, and just think of it as in terms that those are labels, and then we associate a price with a given label. So we've added these prices to this NSCA event, and since it's NSCA, I'll go ahead and cover options. When I click Add Options, by default it highlights, it has entered the ones that are pretty typical, which is a class option, which is usually $10. You can change these amounts. We have a concurrent, a lady, and a Lewis. And let's say you don't want to have anything but the class option, so you can just take these out. Now, what these other elements do is this is going to pay the class 2 places. So it's going to be a 60-40 split, and it's going to pay 60% to first, 40% to second, which is a standard way to split for 2 people. Let me go ahead and I'll have a Lewis because I want to explain something here. The places paid here, this would be 2 places in 2 Lewis classes. See, we have an extra, since there's no Lewis class in the class option, this tells us that there are 2 Lewis classes, and and since Lewis is not played as much at some shoots, so we're going to say we're going to play 1 place in 2 Lewis classes, and then there's the last setting, which is available for all types of options, which is share and trophy. And to try to explain this, think of it if you and I shot the same score. If there was a trophy, we wouldn't cut the trophy in half. One of us would go home with the trophy, and one of us would go home empty-handed. So trophy means in the event of so for instance, if I set this class option to trophy, if there's a tie, there's going to be a shoot-off, and one person's going to get all of that first place money, and the other person is going to get nothing. In share mode, it splits the money for that position between the people that tied for that score. So that covers options there. So now I have options and I have my prices. If this event is going to be European rotation, I'm basically done. But I would like to show you how to add a rotation, so I'm just going to make a simple Saturday 9 a.m. rotation, and it's telling me 72 shooters because it knows I already had 12 stations when I made the event. So now I have my event, I have all my prices, and I have a rotation. So let me show you what the shooter is going to see when the shooter goes to sign up. So I'm going to put in my NSCA number, which I typed wrong. There we go. And I'm going to go to sign myself up. So when I come in to sign up and I select the price, it turns yellow because I'm not done yet. I haven't selected my rotation. And when we talked earlier about setting the duration of the event, when I come down to the schedule, I put 90 minutes. So on this little visual display of my events, it knows that I'm going to be shooting at 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I will be occupied for 90 minutes. So if I were to have other events that had squatted times, they would appear in the correct places on the grid. It helps the shooter to know when he's going to have a lunch break, when he'll have time to do this or that. And also, it will not allow a shooter to schedule himself to be in two places at one time. So you never have to worry about conflicts. iClaze does all that for you automatically. So that's how you set up an event.